Hello, everyone. Well, hope everyone had a happy holidays, and potentially is continuing to have a happy holidays as we speak. I am just about to get started with a new stream of a new tournament that I think has been happening on and off throughout the holidays. And they're going to be starting soon, but I want to get things started a little bit in advance to kind of talk about what's going on here. And also catch my breath. I ran up several flights of stairs to get myself a beverage. And I've eaten so many holiday snacks and treats and desserts that that amount of physical exertion was enough to make me winded. I'm proud to admit that. God, I love snacks. Okay, they have asked me to post a link in Discord, so I'll do that first. Okay, and the next most important thing, of course, is my pretty little face. Okay, so welcome everyone to the first semi-final match in Waifu Wars. For those who are wondering what the heck is Waifu Wars, basically, this is the brainchild of a few members of Mystery Guild who love PvP and they love any excuse to do weird, kind of interesting, quirky PvP rules. So what they've set up is, I'm going to actually bring up the rules to make sure I don't get anything wrong while I'm explaining this to you, because there are a few rules that are fairly interesting. I mean, beyond the obvious. So the central gimmick of the tournament is that there are teams of 3 players each, as you can kind of see in my little preview image here. Each team had to pick a waifu from the game, and going into these matches, they have to first pick their waifu. And the rest of the box, the way it has to be built, is they're not allowed to have any... They just picked some current PvP tier list. And they're not allowed to have any characters in the tier list who are above S tier. So the, top meta SSS and SS and S.5S, none of those characters are allowed in your box. So you have your waifu pick and then some S and below picks. So this basically forces the box to be some fairly interesting and unique characters that you don't normally end up seeing in PvP. Anyway, they've been kind of running this tournament over the holidays, getting preliminary matches and quarterfinals and stuff like that done. The way the games work with 3-person teams is it's basically King of the Hill style elimination. So the first player from each team faces each other, and then the winner stays up. The loser, the next person from their team comes up and they fight. Winner stays up until one entire team is eliminated. And whichever team survived goes on to the next round. So I will, we're waiting for one of the teammates, I think the first player in Team Ashemar to show up, so that's why I'm afforded so much time to explain this to you. Let's see, I'll talk about who the other teams were. Some of them are eliminated by now. But we had the Saintess of the Ark. That was Zuko, Sadao, and Darkhorn. We had Team Betty. That was Moondoggy, 1,000 Ninjas, and Red Guy. We had Team Chris. That was Ozma, Sam Tinder, and Gaul. We have Team Alpha, which is Soleil, Kitten Overlord, and Vice Lord. We have Team Ashemar, who we'll be seeing in action tonight. That's Saber, Valabar, and Sanie Harry. We have Team Angelica. They'll be their opponents tonight, and that is Appty, Cire, and Lonebird. There's also Team Shelfaniel, which was Whooper, Raven Reborn, and Zed808. And then we have Team Imelda, who was Zed, Toxic Jessica, and Untruckalon. Let me bring up the bracket so I can see who's still in. Because obviously now we're in the semifinals, several of those teams were eliminated already. Well, welcome, Meow. I'm glad you're here this fast. So in the first round, Team Imelda defeated Shelfaniel. Team Alpha defeated Team Chris. Team Angelica defeated Team Betty to get to tonight's match. And Team Ashemar defeated Team Saintus to get to tonight's match. So on the other side of the bracket, we have Team Imelda facing off against Team Alpha, and I'll be streaming that game on Sunday, I believe. So for tonight's game, we have Team Angelica versus Team Ashemar, as you can see on the little preview hype image here. And it's actually, I got the names in slightly reversed order on my poster. So Team Angelica is actually going to be fielding Lonebird first, followed by Cire and then Appty. And it's the same reverse order on the other side. So their first player is going to be HarrySanie Harry, followed by Valabar, followed by Saber. So that means the first game that we're going to have to watch is going to be Lonebird versus HarrySanie, and they're going to be playing their respective waifus. Okay, so I believe... Yeah, go ahead now and place your bets, knowing that what the order is going from the bottom up in this chart. I want to see in the chat how you think this game is going to line up. Like, who do you think is going to win and who do you think is going to survive? I'm just going to briefly mute myself while I post my link in a couple more Discords to make sure we can get some interested PvP eyes on this match. I'll be back in 1 second. Alright, that should do it, unless I want to eventually get some truly unruly characters in here. And who wants that? Let's be perfectly honest. Okay, I will now check the mystery Discord and see if our competitors have shown up. I also have my friends list open. Lonebird, sorry, sadly I only have you friended. Actually, no, I do have you friended on Main Kong. I thought you were relegated to the Free Kong leagues. But no, here you are, and I see HarrySanie Harry's account, currently famously named Theonomy, with a Theon profile picture. I wonder who his current favorite gimmick unit is. Anyway, maybe Theon, yeah, is Theon S rank or below? He might be allowed in the box, but he's obviously not the first pick, the waifu pick. So he could be in there. Let's see, Zeno in the chat. Lonebird defeating HarrySanie Harry and Valabar until Saber finally emerges to reverse sweep the team. Ooh, that's a bold prediction, Zeno. All I know, according to Valabar, is that they're trying to keep Saber's box as secret as possible, so I think their team would be happy if it doesn't even get to Saber. My theory for that reasoning is that Saber's box is full of male characters and they don't want to have to endure the shame of fielding that many males in a waifu tournament, but we'll see when we get there. The onus is going to be on Lonebird and Cire and Appty to get all the way down to Saber's box. Let's see if it'll happen. Okay, I can see in the chat now, HarrySanie is ready and they're currently rolling a map. So, I'll bring us into pick and ban as soon as I see them start. And then, unfortunately, I'll have to wipe these beautiful waifus off the screen. Saber, I hope that's not really the secret, because if it is, you're gonna get your wrists slapped. Oh, Moondoggy in here cheering for Team Angelica. Not by choice, but by duress. Oh, does that mean you have to cheer for the team that eliminated you? Let us know, Moondoggy. The only thing I will say now is make sure that competitors make sure you have spectate turned on. Because it's possible they start playing. You know, a lot of people turn spectate off because they're trying to keep their scrims secret, but when you want your scrim actually streamed, it's important to have that option. Enabled or disabled? I forget if it's a tick on or tick off. But I'm not going to my options screen now. Oh, so that was part of the deal, Moondoggy. You all had to change your names to the winner. Okay, so if I look up Moondoggy in my friends list, does that mean I'm going to see you sporting an Angelica avatar? Okay, I don't see their game has started yet. So far we have one official vote of Xeno, believing that it's Team Ashemar that's going to win. Meow believes player quality on Ashemar's side, first pick quality seems about equal. Okay, interesting. Okay, Lonebird is asking for confirmation of how we do that. Oh, he figured it out. Allow spectators on. So yeah, it's in your options settings. Second tab is battle, and then the bottom option is allow spectators on or off. You just want to make sure that that is on. Okay, we have... it seems like a pretty even split in the chat between cheering for Team Ash and cheering for Team Angelica. Okay, Lonebird resent the battle request. So yeah, it sounds like one of them had their spectate mode off, but that should be fixed by now. Wait a minute, Raven, aren't you organizing this tournament? Are you allowed to cheer for one team or the other? Okay, so here we go. Game 1, Floating Courtyard. Lonebird as player 1, representing Team Angelica. Theonomy. He has his Grenier in the box. He has his Theon in the box. So one nice thing for HarrySanie Harry is that he is definitely allowed to use the units that he loves. Okay, so we got a first ban at Dankelmo. I'm assuming first ban of the waifus is not allowed. Oh, and right away, we've got people chatting. We've got an illegal boxed unit on Lonebird's side. Yanni is too high tier to be in the box. Eats a first ban from HarrySanie Harry anyway. I'm assuming the waifus aren't allowed to be banned, so we're going to see a first pick Angelica here, and we're going to see a first pick Ashemar. So there they are. There are the waifus. Lonebird, other than the Adank Elmo, does have a team that looks like, you know, making do. Lonebird is famous for his built-up Strategic Masters units, though, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him get good use out of someone like Emmerich or Lanford or Lucia. So having an early ban of Ultimuller from HarrySanie's side is very smart. Yeah, Moon saying it should be a redo. I'm just a streamer. I'm not organizing the tournament, so if Raven wants to ping them on the Discord and restart the match, we are very early in pick and ban, so I've put that fully up to Raven for sure. If he doesn't think it's going to matter, then I guess we proceed. Another interesting thing on Lonebird's side is that he also has Theon and Grenier in the box, potentially as a little bit of a mind game against Sanie Harry here. Let's go back to the chat. We had a flood of chatting when the boxes were revealed. Who did the banner? That looks so good. Oh, that was me, Moondoggy. Thank you. That was a little bit of afternoon work to prepare for this match. We gotta have, you know, some good, proper hype for these games. Sanie looks like he's saying, doesn't matter, just go on with the match, so that's cool. If he cared, for game 2, he could just not ban Adank Elmo and force Lonebird to leave her for the last round and never pick her, which would end up being a disadvantage for Lonebird as kind of a penalty for accidentally having her in the box. Chops are looking, yeah, thank you, bro. We got the chops going over the holidays. We had to make a good impression on all the family members, for the extended family, for our dinners. Yeah, it sounds, I have a feeling they're just going to go on. It doesn't really matter to Sanie that much. So, on Lonebird's side, we have Angelica, who is kind of a healer. Freekong has a lot of experience using her in a healing capacity. This is actually looking a lot like a Freekong comp. Maybe I'll learn a thing or two. He's got Grenier locked down as a pretty solid tank. Grenier can actually be really good, especially if you're a player like Lonebird who's actually deliberately built him up. Oh, Vice, thank you. And then Emmerich, again, is one of those sneaky units that can be good. The thing about Emmerich, though, is if you're going in to lock down a tank, one other thing you're really going to want to have on your side is someone who can then take advantage of the tank being locked down, which in this tournament, but more so in Lonebird's box, is starting to look a little thin on the ground, so we'll see if he can make something sneaky happen with this Lanford. Otherwise, he's just got another tank and another healer in here. Sanie, for his side, has Ashemar, who I think is a pretty scary waifu in terms of the waifus that are allowed in this tournament. She enables a lot, and she can be a good DPS. He's also managed to lock down Grenier as his tank. He's also got an Act Again healer in Florentia as player 2. Lots of dynamic playmaking options there. And then we have Knight of Mystery, which is kind of an interesting one. Be interesting to see how that works here. Obviously, the anti AoE options available to Lonebird are not that great. Angelica's healing, I mean, she can keep her healing up on a turn-to-turn basis. It's just that it's not the strongest healing. So we may see him opt, yeah, I was going to say, we may see him opt for a second healer for additional healing after this large AoE output character comes out. And we're also getting another good mixture of a enabler slash DPS here in Akka as well for the final pick. So already you can see why this Waifu Wars tournament is so interesting, just looking at the pick and ban here and these boxes. So we are about to be treated to a very entertaining match with 2 Greniers, Emmerich, Lanford, Angelica, Ashemar, Knight of Mystery, Akka. There's a lot going on here. Okay, so We are just waiting for the players to set their positioning and their skills. Depending on how much these players have been, you know, really tinkering with these boxes over the course of the tournament, they may need a little bit of extra time for game one to look over their skills and make sure everything is set just right. It's one thing when you have like your normal Apex box and you kind of have the skills and the troops and that stuff all kind of set, and you just have to give everything a once over and make sure things are right. But for this, they may actually have to go unit by unit and set everything up. The other thing is, Floating Courtyard is an interesting matchup for both of these teams. Ashemar can actually be pretty strong here if she has the right units to help with her dance mobilizing, but neither player has really any scary, like, long leg flying units. MK is the closest thing to a really mobile unit. Florentia can fly, I suppose, but what this looks like to me is that things are going to start getting clogged up in the lanes if the players aren't careful. So someone in the chat who's more familiar with previous rounds of this tournament, it's King of the Hill style, but is it best of one, like one game and the person loses, or is it a more traditional Apex best of three, so you play... I guess then the tournament games would be super long if that's how it worked. Because then, like, one of these players would have to win 2 games, and then another player come in. Yeah, I'm gonna assume it's best of one. So whoever loses this exact matchup goes down, and their teammate comes up to face the winner. Let's take a look at what we got here. Pretty standard Grenier, other than being nicely built. We've also got the faction buff and double heal setup. The reconfiguration is a pretty good full single target heal. We've also got her on Crystal Warlocks. And then we have both Lanford and Emmerich with their little dragon bros. So we have the strategic faction buff on Lanford as well. That's to help enable the Emmerich. And she does have Jardin. Yeah, Grenier stats. So we've got an 1180 defense here. Let's wait for his HP to cycle around. 15,400. Over here we've got 1140. Come on back, HP. Okay. And that's 1830 attack right now, converted, 8 compared to 1888. It looks like Lonebird with the slight edge in Grenier simpage. Yeah, and we do have the flyers on this Florentia. I'd like to see Bolt Rangers on the Ashemar as well. Carlos Polk, thankfully this is not either of my accounts in Apex. On a Thursday, no less. No, I am simply streaming this tournament game. I would be much more stressed if I was playing this. At least we know they both love Grenier enough to have the chef skin on him. Okay, so this, I think the key to victory is probably going to be this MK. If Lonebird's team is able to keep up with Night of Mystery output. But we do have some big AoE on the Ashemar as well, and of course Florentia able to chip in with AoE. We do not get to see Covenant, no. We would have to ask the players. Or infer. At least better, more experienced Apex players than me can infer. Covenant based on stats. I don't do any of that stat-deriving stuff. Yeah, Meow was saying in chat, Night of Mystery, AA, double AoE. Whether that kills or misses kill is going to decide the game. To be perfectly honest, Meow, I think if double AoE from Knight of Mystery, even if it doesn't kill, that is going to be pretty damaging to Lonebird's side. I was going to say, I wish we could see Danger Zone, but the Danger Zone for MK, when you consider everything, is, would probably be frightening. Both Greniers have entered the center of the map, ready for their Grenier off. Josh, welcome to the chat. Yes, the only thing I will say is that I'm a lot taller than Wolverine. Although my bones are significantly more brittle. Fellow Canadian, though, so props to him for that. Good point, Zeno, about the Landford aura. Keeping Lonebird's Grenier just a little bit ahead of HarrySanie's. Yes, Angelica can change class to Lancer, which, you know, Lonebird may end up feeling like he has to use preemptively to help survive MK. It does kind of suck to have to use that skill preemptively because it's really nice to leverage it as a full heal, but you don't get the benefit of it as a full heal if the unit you want to heal is fully dead, so there is that, I guess. I guess it depends on what HarrySanie opens with. Earmuffs on this Angelica. Rice Crew, welcome to the chat. Yeah, thanks for taking a few minutes and dropping in at least, even if you can't stay to watch the games. Yeah. Unless he's thinking that this is coming right now, which, yeah, then HarrySanie can just not do it. Oh, I guess it's a 2-turn buff on the class change. I guess that's Lonebird's way of getting the buff on just for the start of next turn and keeping Angelica far enough back out of range. Whoa, Rice Crew stops in for a few minutes to chat and then immediately starts conducting the hype train again. Thank you for the many gift subs. We got a gift sub for Q, we got a gift sub for Venorion, we got one for Seltkirk, one for Lalo444, and one for Creamy Mommy. Awesome work. Lupus, thank you for saying hello and bouncing. It's good to have people drop in at least. Yeah, it may very well be Jugler Plush. Who is piloting Lonebird? That would be Lonebird. None other than Lonebird himself for this tournament. Okay, so Emmerich gets to hop right up into the front lines as a Lancer, at least until his next action. So we'll see if that changes things for Sanie. I don't think it's a question of whether he's going to unload with his Knight of Mystery. I think that's coming regardless. But like Meow said earlier, the real question is going to be what that does for Emmerich surviving this. Yeah, I guess that depends on whether... Yeah, because Reconfiguration is not classified as an assist skill, as an active skill, right? So Plus shouldn't work on it. And it also says lasts for 1 turn. In the description. So, okay, Appty is confirming that it is in her casting passive. Okay, that's pretty good, though. I should really know that because she's basically one of Freekong's most built units, but I haven't really played with her for that much after her casting passive came out. But now I know. Freekong's gonna tear it up this season. You guys kind of have to force my feet to the fire with the Freekong account. The problem I have with playing it in Apex is that it's so behind on Covenants. The characters are really built. I've even been doing some level 10 casting for people, but I mean, I guess for Bronze and Silver, it's fine. LW, thank you for joining. Welcome to the chat. LW, I see you on YouTube. Oh, there you are on Twitch too. Nice. Okay, so back to the next turn. Lonebird probably going to want to delay Emmerich's action if possible, because otherwise his Angelica buff will wear off. So his turn order is a little bit more rigid. Yeah, I would imagine Appty, that your Team Angelica would have her full cast. I'm glad to see it. Have I not been able to complete Rag with the heroes that I have? That's pretty much it. I mean, I probably could if I sit down to pick some and really go at them. But yeah, I mean, the heroes in the Freekong account are pretty limited until I build them up to be totally juiced. And then having to use different heroes in the different maps makes it a little trickier. But the ones that I have done are pretty funny, so I don't know. I guess that is my impetus to keep doing them, just comedy reasons. All right, here comes some action. MK going in. Helmets and defense down. Defense down, definitely not really nice on the Grenier. Is Angelica able to cleanse multiple? It looks like cleansed, yes. But the Emmerich and the Lanford are still hurting. So they're going to eat an AoE here. And then, I imagine we're going to see Act again from this Florentia as well. Yep. So, Knight of Mystery is going to be coming out to play again. And what is Lonebird going to do to prepare for that? If he doesn't do something, these guys are both dead. Yeah, so we're going to get Iris having to heal back up before this next attack comes out. So that's fine. I mean, they're healed back up, but we do have... this is the one that's strong against cavalry too, right? And now Emmerich is cavalry again. Whether he likes it or not. So we've got Thunder Zone coming out, probably... Oh, interesting. Not exactly right now. But soon. No echo of light skin on Angelica. The smack talk and the beef has already started in the chat. Yeah, that's a good point, Moondoggy. We may... Bestial Outbreak is the act again, right? So that would swap Night of Mystery back up to wherever the wolf is. Yeah, I would say you're definitely right there, Carlos. Not only that, but it also forces a couple more actions out of Lonebird, so he has less left in the tank to react to. Okay, so we're also going to get some Ashemar buffage on this Night of Mystery. Lonebird also down to 3 seconds of backup time, which means when the Thunder Zone happens, with all the chaos and the stress that's happening on the battlefield, Lonebird will have less time to react as well. So just a little nice AoE shot out there to help get things primed and ready for the Night of Mystery. Oh, so close, Emmerich! That was a sneaky move and almost killed that Night of Mystery. Wow, with Night of Mystery down, the tables would have really turned there on HarrySanie. Sanie Harry. Lonebird with the sneaky Emmerich maneuver. Almost came out clutch. Yeah, why is Night of Mystery guarding? Oh, she stole it? She stole guard with her initial AoE. That's hilarious. Dirty, dirty move. That's Emmerich for you, unfortunately, Meow. Okay, so here comes that Akka Wolf act again. Lonebird with nothing left to retaliate with. Sanie opting to play it safe and just Thunder Zone, trying to focus Thunder Zone the Emmerich from back here. Also, unfortunately, doesn't get the kill, but it looks like Grenier is going to be able to finish him off from a distance. So I guess that must be Grenier with the lurkers. All right, and Lonebird's Grenier actually opens up the next turn by finishing off that Night of Mystery. So the Night of Mystery has largely fulfilled her purpose, though, in this game. Unfortunately, not really wreaking as much havoc on Lonebird's team as Sanie may have thought. And yes, now we can see this thick Grenier effectively trying to block off this lane. So Sanie basically has this lane to get into mid, but he's a little bit on his heels. Laurentia can just fly right in, basically, but Sanie's going to have to be looking to lock down some position in the middle here before Lonebird can come in and shut down another lane and then start to wait for the fog to come in and do the rest of his work for him. The only thing is, if he does come down a little too aggressively and try to lock stuff down, he's not going to be guarding, because Grenier's guard is down. Also up against at least one scary magical DPS. Yeah, and Ashemar does have a strong single target magical spell as well. I do not think he has Jav. He has Shiv, faction buff, Chain Lightning. So it looks like Lonebird is turning this into the Grenier show. He's got Grenier right up in Sanie's face, and he's going to have him, well, for now, eat some hits. Grenier really wants to get his conversion back, so he can get some maybe sneaky preemptive kills on these squishy mages. But nothing is active right now, including his sweet defense conversion, so his attack is going to be low. Iris Moby. She's got 4 mobility and no Moby buffs right now. Alright. Sanie's Gren charging into the mid, trying a kind of counter Lonebird strategy here. Not doing that much damage to this Iris. The Bolt Rangers really carrying their weight on that one. Okay, and there we go. Iris goes in and closes the lane. How long until her teleport comes back? A couple turns. So she's gonna give someone away out of here, probably Ash. She's flying, so she doesn't need to worry about being locked out. It's really just the Akka and the Ashemar, and one of them can be teleported out. There's enough time for her wolf teleport to come back before the fog really gets there. Oh, that's true, Meow, that the wolf needs to be on the other side. There's a lot of Bolt Rangerage going on in this match. Ashemar's pull also only works in straight lines and is blocked by terrain, right? I mean, the other obvious way of Sanie freeing his units is to kill one or both of these Lonebird bricks in the wall. That could be something that we see happen as well. Especially if they are able to combo this Grenier down with magic. There we have it. Okay, so Sanie opens up a gap. With Grenier down, things are now looking pretty bad for Lonebird. Even if Lonebird's units are built to be pretty resilient, he's not going to be able to kill off the rest of Sanie's team. And as someone who's familiar with Grenier, Lonebird surely knows what an obstacle this is going to be now as well. So, I don't see this match going on for too much longer, to be honest. Blocking mid is a much more difficult option for Lonebird now as well, with non-Grenier units in the mix. The other unfortunate thing is that Lanford is way up here. Okay, good. He's moving in with Shiv now. I was just about to say, the number one thing that Lanford brings to this game is his aura to help boost the rest of his teammates. And he's not doing that when he's all the way across the map. Okay, so big smash to kill the Florentia. I still think, though, as long as HarrySanie has this Grenier linchpin in here, the rest of his units are just going to be able to eat through Lonebird's team before the fog kills him off. Yeah, and as Zeno mentions in the chat, both players incredibly low on backup time now. So the moves are going to be coming fast. Lonebird really just wants to use these multiple healers to advantage to keep his team fairly healthy and hopefully be able to survive what is essentially, yeah, one strong magical DPS. Akka with her skills down, and this is kind of where the AoE focus on HarrySanie's team is coming back to bite him a little bit. If he had more strong single target focus on these units, it would have been much easier to chew through Iris, for example. But now that Lanford is down here providing some extra buffage, and Lonebird can just take every action to heal his team back up, although he's running out of time now. Backup time is gone. Oh, if we're not careful, we may see some auto battle actions. Like this being on cooldown is hurting HarrySanie's team. We had a Forbidden Defender proc there. Interesting to see HarrySanie kind of trying to decide to feel out which of these units is going to be the weak point that might let him through this wall. As if Iris's Kobo costume was not enough in its regular size. Now she's fucking Mecha Godzilla out here. Look at the size of that. It's almost covering the Grenier entirely. Lonebird is showing us, yeah, Josh, I think a lot of people thought that, and Lonebird is showing us the true value of a strategic master. That was dangerous. Lonebird can heal this. She does have her single target. Okay, he's back up to 100%. Not enough to kill that Lanford. Oh, and the Akka is still up, so HarrySanie does not have turn priority either. So turn priority to Lonebird. Going to give him the opportunity to heal back up and resist this next attack that's coming in. So here is Angelica's 3C. That should get the rest of the team in fairly comfortable position in terms of health. No single target left on this Ashe. She's going to embrace her death by AoEing the team. All HarrySanie really needs is a way in. I mean, he's way ahead in damage, so even if just his Grenier survives and gets into the middle. But Akka doesn't have any way of hitting it. Yep, Lanford just goes back up to 100%. Akka not able to get at that. This, I mean, the Grenier has to go. He's attacking a unit that's not going to help him get back in. Doesn't get the kill. So this turn, Sanie's Grenier is toast. And that is the end of game 1 with Lonebird over Sanie Harry. Okay, so Sanie's elimination, that means we are going to have Lonebird. Someone probably remind him in the Discord to take his Adank Elmo out of the box before the next game. I mean, I know you're not allowed to change boxes before game or between games in this tournament. So game 2 will be Lonebird staying up, as is his right as the winner. And he will be facing Valabar, who's coming in next for Team Ashemar. In spec, not only does the waifu have to be in the box, the waifu has to be first picked. Oh, they're saying do not remove. You get -1 slot. Yeah. Yeah. So basically the way it's going to work is kind of what I said earlier in the chat, is that Lonebird has to keep Adank Elmo in the box, but he's just not allowed to pick her, which means Valabar knows he doesn't need to waste a ban on her, and she's just going to end up dangling last at the very end of the pick and ban phase. Alright, so rolling map for the next game. And I've 2 Valabars on my friends list, so I will just cycle back and forth between them to see which one bops into a match here. And yeah, we're going to see one of the interesting things about this tournament is we know that the boxes are going to kind of be similar, at least, because they are going to have those waifus in there, first picked. But we'll see like what the other units around those waifus end up being. So Valabar, we're on Hidden Gorge with Valabar as player 1, Valabar as the next representative for Team Ashemar. And we actually have a completely different looking box here on Valabar's side. We've got Luna, we've got Agnes, we've got Helena, we have Jugler, we have good old Reen, and we have Leonhardt, so we've got a lot of like big AoE options. AoE seems like it's kind of the way to go in this tournament, at least. Or at least against Team Angelica. They've done a little bit of scouting and they've decided, oh, let's bring out the AoEs. Oh man. This bot in the chat wants to offer promotion for my channel. Not the first bot in the chat. Bye. Sadly, on the YouTube side, you're probably going to see that message. Okay, so both players have gone ahead and first picked their waifu. Lonebird's box, not allowed to change his box once the tournament starts, so we do have the Adank Elmo here who's just not going to get picked. Yeah, Meow saying running AoE versus mandatory first pick healer seems kind of sus. I mean, I guess they're just thinking about what the rest of the box is going to be. Angelica is hardly a Rosenseal tier of anti-AoE healer, and the rest of the box, you know, is not going to be like strong anti-AoE, like tanking, for example. So especially here, we've got, like, who are your tanks? Grenier mainly, I guess this guy too. And in a pinch, Ultimuller. Not great against magic. Although, most of Valabar's remaining AoEs are all physical. So Lonebird front-loading his healers now, getting as much healing as he can, knowing what's going to be coming. Oh yeah, Ilusha, that's a good point. Kind of ignoring her. It wasn't intentional. It was just Ilusha ignoring herself, basically. Luna Princess AoE is legit. I saw Luna Princess AoE Rush back in the day. Who was it? HarrySanie, who used to stream games running that strategy? Sam Tinder cheering for Team Angelica. As a character, I like Angelica a lot more than Ashemar, but as a streamer, I have to say, I'm not cheering for either side. We are just here for hype and to see what happens. And then maybe I'll reveal my team preferences after the matches are already over. I don't want my biases to influence anyone's gambling. So Valabar getting out this Jugler as well, so we're going to see some classic gameplay style with Jugler and Leonhardt in the mix already. Valabar still with access to a couple healers if he wants to go that way. Alright, Lonebird has opted for Shinpachi as his tank. Maybe I should just give the Free Kong account to Lonebird. He definitely knows what to do with it. You think Wheeler is scary? JB Famine, I mean, both teams are looking like that so far. We've got a waifu and then a couple of guys, and a couple of good boys over here. Husbando Torny is next. I'll be in that one, Moondoggy. I'll be first picking Transcender, you know that. So we do have Agnes in the mix. I'm surprised. Agnes, she must be S tier or lower on that tier list. She seems stronger than S tier. She's really good. I guess it must just be like the way the tier list is broken up between like DPS and support units. She just gets kind of knocked down by the other super strong healers, but that's a really good unit to have in your box for this kind of tournament. Okay, and we are getting the Luna out here. So Luna, I mean, she's got a couple units to buff. She can also bring the rush a little bit, which can be really strong with Jugler. Jugler, like, doing a running, charging jump off the end of the diving board is scary. Lonebird, we're gonna get to see Zelgadis in the action. So yeah, it's a proper reverse harem here on Lonebird's side. We've got Angelica, followed by Wheeler, Shinpachi. I don't know if you'd call this like a proper member of a reverse harem, though. A hideous, horrifically disfigured creature like Zelgadis, and then Emmerich. A tournament with our characters only. They had something fairly similar to that way back in the day, GS. Yeah, one of the interesting things about, like, creating a tournament setting like this is that certain units then begin to look super OP in this meta, like Agnes, for example. Moondoggy listed a few there, Lucretia as well. Then you ban those out, and then that creates a new kind of meta where other units are super powerful. Like, who are the ones that rise to the top once, like, Lucretia and Agnes are gone? But the nice thing about a tournament like this is you can have multiple iterations of the tournament. Like Season 2, you can make adjustments to who's allowed. And then Season 3, you can make adjustments based on that, who's allowed. Alright, so let's get started with this game. Valabar. With the Guardian Infantry on the Leonhardt. Okay, we've got the Triton Guard and faction buff on this Jugler. And Gargoyles. Nice with the Dwarves on the Agnes. Okay, so Jugler getting buffed up and getting started before the charge happens. Route. Act again. We do have AOL or EOL skin on this Ashemar, as it should be for a proper waifu tournament. Okay. Definitely much nicer for both players to be able to kind of move around on this giant open map after Lonebird feeling so constrained on the sky map last game. This Glasses guy is a tank, basically, Sam Tindo. He can kind of jump to your units and activate his guarding skill. He also, when he's activating his skill, he basically gives them a short gospel. Reduces AoE damage. So he's basically a tank. He also has a small percent chance, I think that's in this skill, the Glasses skill, to basically be a dodge tank. So if there's a single target attack coming in, there's a 20% chance that the combat just doesn't happen. Kind of like Himiko's talent dodge, except it's on RNG instead of on a cooldown. We have a lot of people from the guild and from the previous rounds of the tournament in the chat. So if I ask who people think comes out of this with the advantage, we're going to have a bunch of people cheering for their chosen teams. Some people have decided to root for or against a player based on vengeance. They want the team that eliminated them to lose. Pinches was an Ashemar sim? Yes, sadly we are going to miss the crab. I usually got pinched about once per season in Apex Ladder. I should really have watched more Pinch's games, because In classic Kong fashion, I'm going to switch to Turtle right as Turtle's dying out in Global. So a little AoE poke ahead there. Thanks to some help from the dwarfs. Just enough to be uncomfortable for Lonebird. Lonebird now deciding how to open this match against Valabar. Okay, so Ash coming in with a little help from Lonebird moving his team up. I mean, Lonebird felt like he needed to port up to help him get into the action and maybe open something and get something going. Is his guard up now? Must be, yep. So he's going to eat a hit from this Ashemar. Let's see what happens. Not too much to his credit. Oh, other than those fixed spikes afterwards. Now Lonebird only has Zelgadis left. Valabar with turn priority is going to be able to follow up with something that is going to hurt this Shinpachi. I guess we're gonna see if that is true, Meow. He's going... Oh! This seems ill-advised. Going for a post-teleport Leonhardt on terrain with Guardian Infantry. That is going to be a bulky unit. I initially thought, when I saw the screen pull way back here, I thought he was going for emotional damage and trying to go for the waifu. But no, Leonhardt. Well, Josh, I mean, I haven't used Zelgadis before, but at least in this exact game, or that exact play, the reason it hit like a limp noodle is because Leonhardt had a lot of defensive techs active. Yep, I mean, potentially he forgot how Leonhardt works. Potentially it may, I hate to say stuff is a misclick in games or that stuff was an error, but he may have been aiming for one of these other ladies and clicked on Leonhardt by accident. I'm not going to rule that entirely out. Zelgada's int. Yeah, I guess that's a good question too, JB Famine, is maybe that's what Lonebird was relying on. Doesn't quite triple him. We've got 550 here, and he had like 14 something. 1440 or something like that, so not quite enough to triple. But maybe that was the issue, just that both these ladies have such high int that he was trying to go for the old Zell talent sneak, and it just didn't work. Teensy Tiny Angelica. Emmerich currently, right now, is strategizing. Trying not to get instantly killed, I think, is what he's doing. Alright, there goes the Wheeler. Puts his talent buff on everyone. One problem is that talent buff is not super good against a heavily AoE-focused team like Valabar's. Shinpachi OP, yeah, I mean, he's standing here, he's not doing too much, but he is surviving, which I'll give him that. Shinpachi's good at that. He was hoping for a stun there to be able to get a fog kill. Oh, and now Shinpachi's Consecration kind of making him like a tiny mini Jugler. Getting some healing off on the rest of the team. Now let's see what this Emmerich is really up to. Catches a breeze. Alright, and there, the revenge of Ashemar on Zelgadis. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll never know, Meow, but do you think Zelgadis secures that kill against Agnes? And even if he does it really change the outcome of the match? Because so far, most of what happened since that was inflicted by Jugler and Leonhardt, so Lonebird would still be in this position. Like this position, just with a dead Agnes. So yeah, we shall see. I don't know that the position would have dramatically changed. At least over that turn, like from the Agnes choice to now. So Lonebird's gonna make a play with Emmerich. But we've still got this absolutely juicy Leonhardt. Jugler is pretty debuffed. Xeno, time for Vala to pull a HarrySanie and throw in good Team Ashemar fashion. Did HarrySanie throw, though? I think he was more of a victim of circumstance. It wasn't really any glaring mistake in his play. Lonebird is taking some strategic time to strategize. I honestly think Lonebird is just, okay, let's see, what can this Emmerich do? Not kill Jugler. Does push and stun, though, so that gets Jugler out of play, at least. For this turn. Unless that's dispellable. It is. Getting Jug back in the action for this Particular turn is not a super high priority, though. Valabar just needs someone dead. Probably this Angelica, to be perfectly honest. Actually, he has 3-turn guard when his guard is up, doesn't he? Oh no, just 2 blocks? But he does get good team healing out of that too, so Angelica is now out of insta-kill range. Soda knows good and well why Angelica's tiny. Don't humor him. If this somehow ends up being a Shinpachi full team carry, I am going to be very shocked. He's running out of Wheeler talent buff, though. Okay, now, to Meow's earlier point, that's the first time Agnes has done something. So now, from like this point in the game onward, we can start to evaluate whether killing Agnes would have been a difference maker. Before this, not really. Of course, just knowing she was there could have influenced Valabar's play and his choices as well. But from what we saw, he just wanted to put out some nice fast AoE splash damage. He killed the Wheeler, who, let's be honest, half of his purpose in these games is to get killed. And the Zelgadis went down to Ashemar anyway, so that wasn't really part of the big AoE overwhelm play. Which is, kind of in the past. Although, I mean, I guess Leonhardt can still reactivate. Oh, Leonhardt's down for a few turns as well. So yeah, the AoE portion of this match is on pause, at least. Okay, we're getting Thorns and Drop Near here. I've posted some Reflect Kill memes of my Free Kong Angelica before. Unfortunately for Lonebird, not quite enough to be the nail in this Ashemar's coffin, and this is a very hurt-looking Angelica. Also, currently out of guard, so Lonebird is going to want to do something. Oh, he can't get his guard back up yet either. So Shinpachi has a downturn. He basically has to choose if he wants to passive guard through proximity the Emmerich or the Angelica. And this clone... Okay, now we're going for the Agnes kill. Successfully gets it. Nice strong DPS Emmerich. Clone might be able to finish off Angelica here. Unfortunately, no. I'm sorry, JB Famine. I am not able to check Agnes stats. So, Agnes down, Angelica down. Really, that means that what we have on Lonebird's side is just a fairly durable Shinpachi guarding a pretty strong Emmerich against a Valabar team with no healing. And some upcoming AoE, but not quite immediate AoE. Shinpachi is going to be able to throw his guard back up this turn. Whoever he uses that on is going to become immune to debuffs. He can use it on himself as well. Just if he's concerned about, like, catching a stun off this Leonhardt, for example. And the rest of Valabar's team is kind of in setup mode as well, so we may see a gradual chipping down of Lonebird's team. Unless, like I said earlier a couple turns ago, if Shinpachi is capable of pulling off a full team carry to win this game, and we see Lonebird go 2-0 against Team Ashemar, that is going to be wild. Yeah, Carlos Pulk, the old Thorns Crystal Warlock drop near Leaden that I used to take 3 lives off Yulia in the same game. That was one of my favorite highlight reel meme videos. Okay, so, I mean, Shinpachi gets a little bit of team healing. His team is only Emmerich. Leonhardt's clone does not get the stun. Is Emmerich also immune to debuffs? It looks like yes. Are they both immune to debuffs? No. Okay, so he used it on Emmerich. So he was potentially stunnable. But he's also hurt and has no real way of healing right now. So this is basically going to be Valabar's opportunity to catch up on damage. I say catch up on damage, he's way ahead on damage, but catch up on actually finishing off units. Oh yeah, that's right, Shinpachi should be just stun immune. Okay, so Lonebird is done. Lonebird did beat HarrySanie, yes, that's right. Vice. Lonebird with the I'm done, thank you emote, but he lets Valabar finish the job regardless. And then we have Game 2, won by Valabar of Team Ashemar. Which means we are moving on to Game 3, which is going to be Valabar, winner stays up, versus the next contender from Team Angelica, which is going to be Cire. So let's check in with their Discord and see how the planning is going. Just had to refresh my own stream because it froze on me, but the stream should still be up. Just my ability to monitor the stream. Okay. Let's see if Cire is online. Where are you, Cire? Where are you? Okay, well, Cire has not been online in about an hour. He was talking earlier, though, so surely he remembers that this game is happening. In fact, I think he's the one who posted the order for his team. Oh, yep, he's just getting logged in now. From the sounds of things, that means Cire was not watching these games, so he doesn't have the inside scoop on Valabar's box. Lonebird is in the chat deconstructing his plays. Yeah, and that is indeed what informed his decision-making. Whoever said it earlier, he thought that Leonhardt would be a good candidate for the talent condition. Okay, so we are just waiting on Cire to get logged in here. I'll make sure he has spectate turned on as well. And then as soon as this game gets started, then we will be good to go for Game 3, I guess, yeah, it ends up being Game 3 of this match. Game 1 was Lonebird beating HarrySanie Harry, possibly as the underdog, overcoming some long odds, or what the chat thought were long odds. Game 2 was Valabar getting revenge against Lonebird. And Lonebird is ready to join the spectators in the stands, as he says in Discord. So we will be happy to see him join the chat here and start giving us some excellent strategic analysis in the chat while we wait for Cire, whose in-game name is FGiz44, which I think means he was born in 1944 and he really hates Gizaroff. Okay, the chat's saying he only builds time units. Well, that's going to be awesome to see. All right. Let's get this game underway, my friends. Okay, we have FGiz 1944 as player 1, and sure enough, here's a whole bunch of time units to support Angelica, the waifu. We've even got the Angelica profile picture. Love to see it. Valabar, unfortunately, not rocking the Ashemar profile picture. So let's see how Valabar is going to adapt to this interesting box. We've got a Selvaria here. We've got a this thing, Sumire. Oh, we've got the good old-fashioned Olivier. Check out these units. Joshua in there for a nice faction buff. We've got Wataru, though. Both Wataru and Himiko, both cartoon children in the same box. This is going to be great. Yeah, of all the time units, and then Reen is not in here. That's okay. This is like a good old school time box. So interesting to see Cire's strategy of banning out the Jugler and then the Actagens immediately after that. So 2 strong enablers on Valabar's side, both down. Valabar does still have access to IBC though. She's another great enabler. I mean, Valabar's box is well constructed because someone like Agnes, someone like Luna are also very strong. But Cire continues his strategy of focusing down these units. So Agnes and Lucretia, both really high-tier characters in this tournament. both also banned. Bob Domaniacs, so far the main rules of this tournament are that there's multiple teams. Each team of 3 players has one designated waifu, and they have to first pick their waifu. So obviously this is Team Angelica versus Team Ashemar. Other than that, the rules are based on a tier list, a PvP tier list, and the only characters that are allowed to be in the box are below a certain tier. So that's why we're not seeing a bunch of the common OP Apex heroes in these boxes, because they're basically banned. So interestingly, yeah, I mean, it looks like because Cire is not going to end up with a proper tank, Valabar is happy to go with more rangy single target options. And the goal is going to be to outrange Cire, to be able to get in and make a pick, kill a unit, and then either trade down or basically just get a bunch of free kills. I mean, Leonhardt with his teleport, Himiko with her talent dodge, Alicia can be rangy. IBC is going to make that a little bit more difficult also for Cire. So far, I'm seeing a team here on Valabar's side that is going to be able to get the jump on Cire and kill off some units. Hopefully, Cire is going to be able to get counter kills, or not counter kills, but exchange units. Or wear Valabar's team down. Valabar is going to have a little bit of healing from the likes of IBC, for example. Yeah, I guess we're going to see what happens. Selvaria, of course, is going to be happy to... The way she manipulates range is by staying back and just being able to hit from range. But I want to see what a fully built, time-specific Selvaria looks like. Who's properly juiced. What's she going to kill on this team? Time will tell. All right. So we're on the Eye of the Desert this time. Credit to the game's RNG so far. At least we've had 3 games and 3 different maps. That does not often happen. Ooh. Oh. I need to crank some more caffeine in this delicious soda beverage. Yes, Kaguya should be able to stun Himiko unless Himiko is wearing an angel feather. Or Bond of Arashi, I guess. Which I doubt, but it's certainly possible. Doesn't look like she's wearing either. Accelerated aid on the Alicia, as you would expect. Gustav currently in this game identifies as female, so she would be a waifu. Actually, yeah, if there was a Team Gustav, I probably would have played on Team Gustav. I actually have a kind of built Gustav, because I build a whole bunch of crappy myth units, myth and dark units, so yeah, I could have done that. I could have made that happen. YouTube, I hate to tell you, my YouTube viewers, but the stream is pretty far behind the Twitch stream. Okay, pulling the Kaguya ahead. Kagura, sorry. Kaguya. Has not been in any of these boxes, but she can't be that high tier. Kaguya must be an allowed character, we just haven't seen her yet. See, that's the thing. That's the reason I think Ashemar is a really good waifu. The players who picked Ashemar as their waifu, she can just do so much. Like, then you just leave it to the rest of the team that you build around Ashemar. Freed. Who's that? That name rings a bell. Was that a player who used to play Kaguya? Someone just mentioned it in relation to my Kaguya comments, so that's who I assume that is. Okay, chat, now that we have a pick ban underway, or completed, behind us, who do we think has the advantage in this particular game? Do we like Valabar's team, or do we like F-Giz 1944, the anti-Giz player, Cire, with his full Memes of Time box? Salvaria getting herself set up here. Getting ready for some tasty victims to enter her sniping range. Moondoggy saying it's a Valabar win no matter what, and Appty's gonna have to win 2 in a row. Ooh, well, if that harsh prediction is true, maybe Team Angelica put their strongest player in the last position. So Appty can come out and clutch things. I think Appty has always been a fan of Angelica, probably had her built for a long time. So he wasn't just memeing when he hopped onto this team. Zuko, I like the Breeze RNG team. Yeah. You are the master of your own RNG. He can teleport. He's got Moby. She has Moby. He's got a Breeze. Everyone has a Moby boost on his team. I mean, I guess one thing is this too early to be getting all this Breeze luck? You like to get that Breeze luck on turn 1, normally. But is he going to be able to convert on that before those buffs go away? Or is he just going to re-up the buffs? For all we know, that's Valabar's plan. Just get Breeze back as it wears off. Easy. Alright, using instant transfer to transfer away to safety. Please don't hurt me. The Lancer's a nice choice against this Kagura, though. Alright, we talked about re-upping your Breeze. I guess it didn't matter. That Archon's gonna be mean. That Kagura's gonna be mean. I mean, we're gonna get to see what Kagura's plan is very soon here. Yeah, we're gonna get the teleport from Leonhardt first. He's gonna teleport ahead and re-up his breeze. That's a pretty nice place for Leonhardt to be. Assuming he can walk right in here and then balance blade this entire team. Himiko is not going to want to be a part of this. Alright, now let's see what Kagura's plan is. Is Kagura's plan kill someone now? Or is Kagura's plan enjoy Cire doing something at the start of next turn and then doing 1, 2, 3 punch all in a row? Lord, welcome to the chat, welcome to the stream. Oh, Kagura's decision has been made. And Selvaria is the target of choice. Okay, so there will be no waifu sniping. No a waifu snaifu. In this game, at least. Now, this is the Cire dilemma. He knows that this is going to come in. This is... Well, he probably can't do anything right now unless Cire moves up. But this is going to do something. F-Giz needs to get rid of this Kagura. Do you do that with a healer or an AoE-focused unit, another AoE-focused unit, or Alicia? Alicia seems to be really your only bet. Okay, so we just get a push here, which is not too debilitating. Himiko clocked that, though. But here comes that Himiko pre-battle stun, and she's got to be toast here. Yeah. That may have really just been knowing that Himiko's dead anyway, so might as well get her action done before losing the unit. Here's my question. Is Kagura going to kill Cire's entire team? Or is she going to die now? Alright. So she goes down. We do get an accelerated aid on this Angelica, which is not going to do anything. Here comes that Leonhardt, which we knew was coming. Is Leonhardt going to take anyone down? Or basically just spread some pain around? Let's see what this little clone can do to finish off this turn. No stuns, no kills, but it does devastate Cire's entire team. Pretty sure Cire knew about the stun vulnerability of Himiko. That was a thing ever since Himiko kind of first came out. She had to worry about Bernhardt shield bashing her. So, as a dedicated time player and probably Himiko user, I think Cire would have been aware of that. Unless he just didn't read that Kagura had that in his kit. So here we go. Angelica is going to try to bring things back from the brink by healing the rest of his team up to like 50% health. And these guys can't quite get in yet. Oh, she can reach that far. Okay, forgive me for not. I was just in the middle of counting when she started that move. That's going to be it for Alicia, and with Alicia down, I mean, I just don't see this Leonhardt being able to get over this Leonhardt. Unless he has phenomenal AoE RNG. Trying to get the long distance stun on Ashemar just to keep her out of his hair for a couple turns. Or one turn, really. Also, the clones sacrificing the body. No, but Archon is just going to run around and go for the real Leonhardt. Clone is out of guard range as well. So Leonhardt dies. And all we have left is just the waifu. The waifu and a clone. So right down to the wire, Angelica, the last woman standing. And a clone. I don't count the clone. He's not a real unit. But at least thematically, this clone should die before Angelica does. Okay, Angelica goes Hulk mode, turns herself into an extra large, taking more damage Angelica. Oh, I love that the Leonhardt clone was tiny even in battle. Okay, so this is going to be it for this Angelica. I really don't see her Thorns drop near counter-killing here. And I immediately eat my words. I guess I was basing that off Lonebirds not counter-killing in the previous game, but I guess that's the difference between Lonebirds and Cire's Angelica. Still not enough to hold back 4 DPS units on Valabar's side, so Valabar stays up for 2 games, trying to single-handedly carry his team to victory after HarrySanie Harry failed on the Sky map. So finally, we will have... I shouldn't say finally, because for all we know, Appty's going to get his team back in this. But the next game is going to be Valabar staying up to represent Team Ashemar, fighting the next and final challenger from Team Angelica, which is going to be Appty. So, Appty, do I have you on my friends list? Because I don't know which Valabar is Valabar. Like I said, I have multiple Valabars on my friends list. Yes, I do have Appty. Okay. Okay, so we are just going to wait. Ally is Lonebird. Since you're asking, Moondoggy. I guess they're gonna roll map. Oh, I hate to spoil what the next map is going to be for you, friends, but maybe from my tone you can guess. Alright, and we are ready to jump back into the action. Valabar as player 1, Appty as player 2. Yes, sure enough, my friends, we are back on the exact same map. Eye of the Desert again. So, let's see. What does Appty have in the box? Ooh, Appty has some scary units. These are all below S tier? Yeah, interesting. Appty with a interesting, like, assassin-heavy focus here. We got Lisa, we've got Cire, we've got Cire, we've got Matthew who can jump into the mix. We also have whatever this is that Sigma or Werner? I guess Werner's probably below S tier by now. We also have Tatalia, who I love as a unit, and I hope she does really well in this match. Yeah, we have some interesting units on Appty's side. Let's see how they get used. Valabar, of course, with the same box that we've seen Valabar running 3rd game in a row, as he is not allowed to change his box. Okay, Sam's saying most are S tier, yeah. So S tier is allowed. It's just like SS, SSS, SSSS, and SSSSS that aren't allowed. And there were some like borderline S units like Apotheosis and McLean and Dehart that were disallowed as well. All right, Valabar with the early pick Akka again. We've been seeing a lot of Akka in this tournament so far. Yeah, that's the thing, Carlos, is, yeah, it's not so much that, like, other units knock them down, but with box space the way it is, like, you have a small handful of units that are just so good that they're obvious inclusions in any box, that the amount of room you have left over for these kind of, like, niche or borderline S-tier picks is really small, so you can only fit a couple of them in if you do get any of them in there. Now with this tournament, I mean, you can fit all of them in if you want to. So it's fun to see when they start creeping in who looks powerful. Like all those units on Appty's side look powerful when there's none of those triple S tier units that are obvious inclusions above them. SP Matt was the sleeper pick. Valabar getting some inside info. Valabar's a smart player, and he knows what his box is weak against. The Wandering Duelist could potentially be an interesting pick here, too, for Appty's side. Okay, she comes out next. Valabar getting Archon again on Desert Map. Meow in the chat is desperate to see Angelica summon a bot. Alright, we're getting strong picks on Appty's side, though. The Agnes and the IBC. Reen is scary, though. Always has been. I would honestly expect Jugler to come out next. And then probably Presha for Yep, Presha comes out for Appty's side. Presha is probably able to kill that Jugler. Maybe able to kill the Reen, depending on what the class matchup looks like. So we will wait for them to get set up. Shouldn't take too long. Shocked at the lack of Mac from either team. Well, Meow, did you represent Mac in the tournament? Or will you be representing Mac on Sunday? I guess time will tell. Well, you probably are going to be representing Mac, aren't you? Didn't you say Kitten Overlord account has a good Mac? Yeah, okay, good. You won your match versus Chris with Mac. Okay. So yeah, I was off for the holidays for a couple weeks, and I missed like the quarterfinal round of this tournament. But hoping to see more Mac in action on Sunday. Wow, players are really going right to the end of this timer to get their team set up. So here we go. They're all ready. The good old-fashioned Jugler, 3C plus Beast Shock. The Aka Wolf immediately gets Reen transformed. Interestingly, not enough units have died to make this really last for Reen, so that's something that Appty could wait out if he feels like he needs to. Okay, Prescia did bring unicorns to help versus that Reen. No bots, unfortunately, Meow. Double DPS on this IBC, which is probably smart because it looks like IBC is going to be an important DPS there. Instead, we have mass attack on the Angelica. So if Appty is able to time his advance properly, or I shouldn't call it advance, really, he wants to hang until Reen basically untransforms. And then make that the time of engagement. That said, sure enough, Ashemar pulling Reen ahead. Jugler's also going to be jumping fairly quickly up into the action, so it may be difficult for Appty to stall long enough. We will see how fast Valabar's advance is. Red guy is rolling enchants on main chord instead of here cheering on his favorite waifu. Hard to believe, but it's true. We're getting IBC attack and Moby buffs on Prescia and Agnes. This is nice. I am sharding Prescia right now. She's pretty far away from usable, but she's Mythical Realm. So, oh yeah, not long enough to hold Reen off. He is in there, and he clocks. This is why we all hated Reen back in the day. Clocks it. It's gonna be ready again next turn. So silence, buff block. What are you gonna strip for us, Angelica? Everyone seems to be in decent shape again. Her Moby down is being counterbalanced by her Moby up. And just buff block on the Angie, which is a fine unit to have buff block on. It basically means she's just not going to be able to benefit from, like, random effects of Voracious Ray. Valabar pulls the breeze on that Archon again. Okay. Tormilk is Mythical Realm. Am I building her? She is on the list, Soda. I'm not going to say exactly where she is on the list, but she is on there. The tricky part about getting Tormilk up into the sharding rotation is we are now entering a phase where all the new units that come out are units that I have to immediately start gate fading. So, I mean, yeah, she's on the list, but like, there's new units, bro. What we need is to have, like, multiple weeks of 18 Gates of Fate so she can sneak in as I finish other units off. So, yes, I mean, this Jugler's inbound as well, right? Potentially not this turn, but at the start of next turn. So, Appty has time to kill this Reen before things get really nuts. Reen is pretty defensively strong with these Highlands as well. But Appty has a couple of units that he can make the attempt with. Oh yeah, the Wandering Duelist. Not pulling as much of her weight there as we hoped. Oh yeah, here comes Jugler. Throws some damage out. Also guarding this Reen. Which means the jig is up. Unless you kill the Jugler now, Reen is safely going to be able to poke and then get his 3C back. And we've also got an Archon inbound who's basically going to be able to pull and pop whoever he wants. Trying to get the team back up into shape with Agnes is smart. But let's see what we're going to get. Oh, unguarding Reen to just go get a kill. Yeah, that's smart too. Getting a kill on the Agnes. Takes away the insta area revives that she offered. Killing Agnes first means you get to kill the rest of the team fewer times. This Duelist being here is basically an easy pivot point for Archon as well. Reen back under guard now that Jugler moved back. Thank you, Spirit Boots. And I don't see anyone one-shotting this Jugler either. Can you do it, Prescia? You have a damage buff. Well, we're trying with IBC first. Oh, good! Wow, okay, I vastly overestimate Jugler. I remember back in the good old days when Jugler was actually a tank, and thinking about the units that you had to use to try to kill him. That was back in the original Tank Buster days, when like the units that would come out that could one-shot Jugler were the scary Tank Busters. Well, I guess now IBC easily one-shots him. I suppose she had both of her skills up. Okay, so this is time. I mean, Archon basically kills whoever he wants here. Reen has now served his purpose. I mean, even with his 3C down, he can still be annoying. He still has his poke. But Appty's on the ropes. Yeah, Lonebird, it is sad. It is sad. When, I mean, at least Jugler, unlike some of the other early weak tanks, Jugler has kind of been able to pivot and find like a new... He basically retrained and went back to school and found a new niche in the meta, like a different thing that he can do. But it's sad when, like, a good old-fashioned tank just isn't allowed to tank anymore. He has to do other splashy stuff. Yep, exactly, Carlos. Jugler is not intended to tank anymore, that's for sure. Alright, Duels easily goes down here. So this is going to have to be Pressure. I mean, IBC's silenced. What else can't you do? Is that 2 turns of silence? Yeah, so 2 turns of not being able to use this stuff. Which means she can hit, which is fine. Pressure versus Archon is the crux of this matchup right now. Pressure has already acted and Archon hasn't, so Archon basically has a free kill. And what are you going to do to prepare for that? Oh, this should remove the silence. Oh no, he used... Okay, Voracious Ray removed it anyway. I was going to say, if he reconfigured, that would also automatically remove all debuffs. But okay, IBC can do stuff now. The annoying thing about Archon is that he has an extra life, too. So, pulling Pressure, is he going to also kill Pressure? Yeah, it looks like IBC's a little too far away. This should be a relatively easy kill on Pressure, though. Interesting, Valabar clearly calculating here. I think Pressure's the obvious kill. Maybe the concern was just... Okay, so that is to basically save the Archon. Maybe Valabar's concern there, and why he took a little bit of time, was either he was counting for that Aka move, or he was wondering whether, like, a play with Pressure's Revive and IBC would be able to combo his lives down. Either way, it's not going to matter here now, as Pressure will soon not be on the map. Appty will have turn priority, but the IBC is only going to be able to kill 1 unit. Makes sense for that unit to be Ashemar, because Archon has a revive, but instead we're just going for Archon's first life. I guess the conceit is that potentially IBC will still be around at the end of this turn? But I think Akka and Ashemar are going to have something to say about that. Clever move to make her a Lancer to help her survive this turn against these Cavs. So, Akka. She's going for it anyway. Are you going to be able to get through this Lancer hero? Yes, you are. It was a worthy attempt, Appty. It was a worthy attempt. But the DPS was there, unfortunately. Unfortunately for Appty. I don't mean unfortunately from my point of view. As though I were cheering against Valabar. Appty, though, getting ready, closing out the game with a kill on that Archon from the waifu herself, Angelica, the team mascot. Now let's see if Valabar is actually able to close it out, or if Angelica is going to hard carry against the rest of Valabar's team. Oh, but it looks like this is Angelica's time. Yeah, this is Angelica's time. And Valabar actually sweeps Team Angelica. After HarrySanie went down in the first round to Lonebird, we have Valabar come in and clutch it out against the entire Team Angelica. Lonebird going down, Cire and Appty both taken out on the desert map. And sure enough, as everyone was saying at the start, trying to keep Saber's box a secret. Well, it doesn't get any more secret than this. Saber does not have to enter combat at all. Everyone very proud of themselves for being able to keep Saber's purity. Okay, so that was it for this particular match in Waifu Wars, which determines Team Ashemar going to the finals. And in the finals, they'll be facing off against the winner between... Is it Team Alpha and Team Imelda? So Team Alpha and Team Imelda will be playing on Sunday on this very stream, and that will be around second joint battle time. I'll have to double check the exact schedule. Let me just see here. After first JB. Okay, so I was totally wrong. After first joint battle window on Sunday, we are going to have Team Alpha, which is Soleil, Kitten Overlord, and Vice Lord, versus Team Imelda, which is Zed, Toxic Jessica, and Untruckalacon. So we've got a couple Lords on Alpha's team, an Overlord and a Vice Lord. So yes, join me on Sunday, and we'll be streaming that game as well. That'll be the other side of the semifinals, though, so we won't have the finals determined until we know who wins on Sunday. Whoever wins on Sunday is going to go on to face off against the mighty Team Ashemar, and maybe, just maybe, someone then will finally reveal who is in Saber's box, that it has to be kept such a tightly clutched secret. Okay, I am going to go. Thank you all for coming out and supporting your favorite waifu, supporting your favorite players, supporting your favorite streamer, and yeah, I'll be back on Sunday. Best of luck in Apex. Until then, everyone, I'll see you then. Happy Langrissing, everyone.